Here it is. So there's the question: ready or not?
We're ready. I think he's done a great job of practicing the last 3.5 weeks. Had a great practice on Sunday. I feel like we'll have a great practice today as well, and one on Tuesday, and then walk through on Wednesday. But I feel like these kids really did what they needed to do in the summer to prepare themselves for this moment, and I think they practiced pretty well up to this moment as well. And good energy, good excitement. Kids been doing everything we've asked them to do, so I'm excited about Thursday, and here it is.
When it comes to installing or maybe the scout when you're looking at the opponent, is there the first day or two that's a little bit more iffy in practice just because it's a new way to practice since you were for the last 3 weeks?
Yeah, it's a little different just because we've been going against our offense and our defense and seeing the same coverages or route running or just the run plays itself and the same blitzes. But now you're starting to get into to what they do, offensively and defensively. And on special teams, things are a little bit different too. So that first day is a little bit shaky, but I think our kids really handled it well. They really did. You can tell they put the time in the film room already, studying and preparing and getting in their playbooks and getting themselves prepared to be successful, hopefully on Thursday. But it was a little shaky the first day, but they came out of it all right. The next day was very good, and these kids did the things they needed to do to get themselves ready.
You have a lot of returning starters, a very veteran team in most positions. Could you tell a difference in camp with all that leadership that have been through this a lot?
You can tell they're hungry. They 7-4 last year. You can tell they went better than that this year, and you can tell they're hungry. They came to practice every single day, ready to get after it. Just great leadership still, and holding guys accountable and doing the things that they needed to do to make this team better. You could even see it through this summer with them just doing their 7-on-7s and individual workouts as well. That last year wasn't good enough, and they're not satisfied. So I feel like we have a bunch of kids right now that have a little chip on their shoulder, and they feel like they got a lot to prove. So here we come on Thursday to have that opportunity to prove that we're a pretty darn good football team.
Who is QB1, and in the backup, do you anticipate the backup getting any snaps?
You'll see QB1 on snap one, and you'll probably see the other one come in as well. So just kind of depends on how the game's going, but we'll figure out snap one, and that'll be our guy. Still got a lot of competition going on right there right now.
Have you decided on a starter? You just don't want to name it?
There's a good chance we kind of know who it is, but we just don't want to quite throw it out there yet because they're both pretty darn good, and they're both still competing for that job. So I just don't want to name the name yet and it not be that guy on Thursday.
Are you excited to play a non-conference opponent? And if so, or if not, your thoughts on being able to have some non-cons to play?
Very, very excited to have the opportunity to go play someone else besides everybody in your conference. It's just fun to play outside of it. Somebody from a different region as well. A team from Lone Star that's really good. That's ranked number 24 in the country right now. That's a very good football team, and it's going to be a great challenge for us. And it's always because you just never know what you're going to get game one anyway. And really right now we don't know what we're going to get game one. I know they hired a new defensive coordinator, but I know the head coach is a defensive guy, so I don't know if they'll change defenses or not. And so we're just kind of trying to prepare for everything, offensively, for whatever defense they do throw at us. We got multiple things to attack, them with as well. But, these game ones are always hard, but it is fun to play a non-con game and play somebody different than what you've always been playing.
How did you get Angelo State, and how in the world did you get to come here twice in 3 years versus Fort Hays State going there twice?
Great AD. Curtis Hammocky did an excellent job of getting that set up because we tried to make a 3-year deal with them just because the way things are working out next year with us playing another opponent as well for 2 years. And we only had one game open this year, but he did a good job of making things happen and getting them here for 2 years just because of our schedule next year. But that's Curtis. He finds ways to get things done. He's a great guy, and he got it done for us.
New offensive coordinator, how has that transition gone? How do you think that side of the ball has responded to a new person in charge there?
I think the transition's been great. A lot of energy, a lot of excitement from the kids. They're eager to come to practice every single day with motivation and just the leadership on that side of the ball as well, keeping everybody in line and and adjusting well to what we're doing offensively and picking it up pretty quick. Didn't change a ton, but changed enough because it's his offense now, and he can change the things that he needs to change to hopefully improve it and make it better. And I think Coach Ross has done those things.
Much change in terminology, or is it more just the approach and how it goes about it?
He didn't want to change terminology just because it's changing, 60, 70 kids instead of just changing, one person's terminology. So he basically kept the same terminology to make it easier for them, but they just made a few minor adjustments to what they're doing offensively with motions and different things like that, and just formations. So and add a little bit to those formations too, and plays to those formations. So he's done a good job up to this point. I'm excited to see what he does on Thursday. He's going to do an awesome. He's just a great person, and he's great with the kids. He's built a great relationship with those kids as well, and I know they're going to play hard for him.
You rebounded last year with the 7-win season, but you lost your last two because of their quality opponents. Do you use that as motivation to finish strong this year, as opposed to what happened last year, or how do you approach that?
Last year's last year, and we're just kind of moving on to 2024 and what this group of kids can do. I think they can do very, very well. They got the potential, they got the ability. We have the athleticism. We have the guys in place. It's just them, stepping on the field, doing their job and doing their assignment and playing physical. But last year's last year. I'm excited about seeing this group and what they do this year, because I think if they do the things that we think as coaches they can do, they're going to have a really good season.
You mentioned they have a new defensive coordinator, so it may be hard to answer this, but they led the nation in pass defense last year. What made them so good? What are the areas that you'll have to do well to, try to attack that stellar defense?
I think just the multiple looks they give you up front. Sometimes there's a 3-man front, 5-man front. Linebackers going different places. They played a lot of man coverage, and they mixed up with a little bit of zone. So, if they are man, we got to find a way to win, the one-on-one battles and be able to protect our quarterback as well. I think we got the guys to do that. They're very athletic, in the skill positions, and so are we. I feel like our guys are pretty quick and shifty and can make things happen. And I feel like our O-line's, done a good job of getting ready to protect our quarterback, because we threw a lot of them as a defense this year, just to see how they handled it. And they did some good things offensively up front, protecting our quarterbacks, this fall camp. So, it's always hard to prepare. It's always these game ones that, as a coach, you get really, really nervous because you just don't know what you're going to get. Multiple trick plays and multiple formations, fake field goals, fake punts. You just don't know what's going into it. So you have to kind of prepare for everything, and that's what we're doing. I mean, we're throwing things at our kids that we think they might do to us, and so you got to prepare for everything and get them ready.
You talked about the O-line. Amari moves back to the offensive line where he played here. How has that transition gone, and just your evaluation of the offensive line so far?
I think it's been great. He has credit as being an offensive lineman here in this conference, and being an all-conference guy as well, and great rapport with the kids. And he's built a great relationship with them, and it has taught him well. And their communication has been great across the board. So I think that relationship has really grown, and I think those kids have really matured and grown up. And you can tell they're playing, very close as a unit right now up front, because that's what you need. Playing those 5 positions, because there's a lot that goes into it. And the communication that they have right now has been great. And Amari's been a big part of that, and getting them ready to play. And you can just tell they're confident right now in their abilities and the things that they're doing. And they got to play with that same kind of confidence on Thursday.
For the first series, maybe 2 series, is there a script on offense that will be put into place, or is it just whatever the game dictates, even on the first series?
You always have your top 10 plays, but then you still have to kind of adjust, off of it, in third down situations, especially to make sure that, you're able to get the first down. And so, there will be some changes as it goes along, but usually you try to stick to your top 10. But sometimes those situations kind of dictate that you come off script a little bit, but you always try to go back to those top 10, just to kind of see what the defense is giving you.
Angelo State's quality opponent, but it's also an opponent that you normally don't see, your conference games, that sort of thing. How do you approach that as far as that? Do you like the idea of playing somebody different as opposed to your schedule for the last few years?
Absolutely. I think just playing some other opponent is great for us, and especially somebody, outside of this conference, as well. That's a very good opponent, and and in a different region. The cool thing about next year is we'll be playing them again, and we'll actually be in the same region, as them, and CSU Pueblo, who will be playing that next year as well. So that's going to help us out, for next year, regional ranking-wise and things like that. But it's always good to play another team. Different competition, and now we'll kind of see what the Lone Star competition is like, because we know the MIAA competition is really, really good. So now we got to compete against another opponent from a different conference, and just kind of see how it matches up with us.